Ladies and gentlemen, I am SidAlpha, and we're here, well, I should say I'm here, to talk to you about the relationship between game developers and YouTubers, or gaming critics in general. Now, I'm bringing this up because of a recent comment on one of my critiques in which the developers stated they had recently updated the game, and were hoping I would update my review on the content based on the new bug fixes and features within the game. To which I avoided directly responding, but why would I avoid? You might ask that question. You'd be fair to ask, and so I'm going to try and answer it for you now. I avoided it because I was trying to find a way to phrase this in my own words. You see, Total Biscuit recently did a video a few weeks ago in which he discussed a topic that was very similar, if not exactly mirroring this situation. And the topic is worth discussing. Where's the line drawn? When is it fair and right to the consumer, and when does it only serve to benefit the developer? Now, when is it fair and right to the critics themselves? All of these questions have to be explored, and when you're faced with dilemmas such as these, and before you ask, yes, this is a dilemma for me, because I'm not an asshole, I always want to make sure that when I'm representing a standpoint, idea, or ideal, that it's the right one to represent, and that I'm doing so to protect and inform. Now, that is the reason for my channel's existence. That is the reason why in the past, if I so much as dared to step a toe out of line with the precepts of honesty and fairness, I got a quick and sometimes harsh reminder from my subscriber base what I'm here to do and accomplish for, which I'm exceptionally grateful to you guys for. But not everyone has the benefit of the help of their fans when their moral compass doesn't point true north. Not everyone cares. Which is where I come in and why I've struggled with this before and decided to issue a response. Now, it's a question that, while at face value might seem exceptionally simple, actually isn't. First, though, let's talk a little bit about what a gaming critic does and what their standards of behavior should be in my eyes. Now, it's true that critics come in all manner of shapes, sizes, and attitudes, and that they will invariably have wildly different opinions, which is also why I always recommend you don't take my word alone as an end-all be-all. I make no claim to authority, and my opinion is no more or less valuable than anyone else's. The only difference is that I have over 1,000 people that at some point in time are listening to my opinion in regards to a video game or some topic about my channel or gaming in general. And that's why when having a voice becomes a responsibility. Now, even with the modest following I have on YouTube, I fully acknowledge that this is not a game, and even my voice carries some weight to it. And because of that, there have to be certain levels of standards, such as, well, let's go through a brief list that I always had in mind before I even started my YouTube channel. First off, most importantly, never lie to your audience. Lying or misrepresentation of facts will mislead people into making the wrong decisions about a product that you're discussing, and it's ultimately anti-consumer, amoral, and counter to what you, the viewer, should expect. Should always be transparent also. Now, this basically ties in with the honesty portion, but always divulge in clear and certain terms when you're being paid to discuss a product directly. Always disclose any personal or professional involvement in any video game, and this would include crowdfunding, backing, partial or full ownership, brand deals, or gifts received. Even receiving review code, which is a common industry standard, should be divulged in such a way as to leave no confusion at all. Now, never review a game that you haven't completed. That's very important, because if you haven't completed a game, you shouldn't be reviewing it. You may be misrepresenting the game. However, there are other ways. There's first impressions reviews, and there are other things. Now, I have my SidAlpha reviews, Is It Worth It, and State of the Game series. Now, the review series is for exactly that, reviews. Now, this is the Is It Worth It series is for first impressions or for games where I either didn't have the time or didn't have the inclination to finish them. And the State of the Game series is for early access titles, as those kind of games have a whole different standard attached to them. Always protect the consumer. Now, you, my audience, comes first. If I'm presented with something or asked to do something that would be counter to what I perceive to be your best interests, you can bet your ass I would rather burn my channel to the ground in full view of the entire world before I would willingly or knowingly betray that trust. Because it is a trust. I do my best to relay honest and open opinions, and do my best to relate my thoughts as clearly as I can, and the way in which I relate my content to you requires a certain amount of trust there. Now, I know that I'm not overly comedic or interesting most of the time, although apparently some of my rants I hear were found to be quite hilarious. which I'm actually okay with. But my point is, I'm not the most entertaining person in the world to be watching, so the only real reason that I can think of for all of you to stick around is that you respect my thoughts and opinions, and sometimes those same thoughts and opinions mirror your own, and for that, I'm truly humbled and grateful. Now, some of you have even actively helped promote my channel, and for that, you have my most heartfelt thanks. If more of you were to do that, then I have no doubt I would start a snowball effect, but I have to earn that from people, and I can't expect it. And I'm okay with that. Now, the next standard to which I hold is, once a review is done, it's done. Which brings us to the crux of the matter, and the biggest question we have to ask. Is it fair or even right to ask a critic to alter a review of a game? If so, when would it be appropriate and when would it not? Would it be fair to you, the viewers and consumers, to alter a review after I'd released it? Now, to my mind and careful thought, I came to the conclusion that, which was actually the same conclusion I had when I first thought of it, which no, it wouldn't be. There's one thing you have to remember when someone like myself is critiquing a game. It is a critique of the game as it is at that moment in time. That is why I have the different formats on my channel, to reflect this. If it is a review or a first impression look of a full release title, then it's not early access, then no, I am under no obligation to alter my review in any way. If that were to even be a thing, then we would have to ask, where do we draw the line? Games come out with patches, fixes, DLC, and updates all the time. Would we have to alter our reviews after every single one? No, absolutely not. That would create a monumental task that would become Herculean overnight, and would be unfair to the reviewers and unfair to the consumer. Oh, I saw this review and the game looked awesome, a person might say. And then here comes the critic and changes the review the same day or the next day, and it forces a shift of perception to the consumer. Now, it would be impossible for the consumer to make an informed choice at that point and negate the purpose of critiquing a game at all. Sorry about the little jumps there, folks. I actually keep having vehicles drive by that are exceptionally loud, and you can actually pick it up on the microphone, so I'm trying to cut that out. But to continue on with the next one, now one might also say, yeah, but at the same time, it's not fair to the developer either. But what if it was broken at launch and they released a patch to fix it? Which, it's worth noting, is fairly similar to what happened in the case that I'm dealing with right now. Well, to that I have to say, you should have postponed your launch then. Now, if you go into full release and it's broken, expect me to say so. I'm not about to revise my opinion after the fact. If you don't want that type of information to be shared, then don't expect your customers to buy your game in that state. It's that simple. Hell, people will even thank you for it if you show the drive and concern to push the game's release back by a day, a week, even a month if it means they have a better experience when they do finally get their hands on it. They'll be happier, the reviews will be better, and more people will be willing to buy your game and appreciate you directly for showing them the care and concern. Now, that is, to me, a very simple process of thought, and I honestly don't understand how or why so many developers just don't get this. Because in this case, the patch in question was released a mere 10 days after my review was posted. That's it. That's it, 10 days. It was broken and buggy, and they released a massive patch for it 10 days after launch. That's it. Now, the game I'm talking about, of course, is Gnomes vs. Fairies, and the developers had this to ask. Hi, SidAlpha, I really enjoyed your video. I just wanted to let you know that all the bugs you experienced are gone from the game. I've had a few customers cite your review as a reason for not getting the game. I'd love to invite you to check the game out again and see if it's still buggy and full of glitches, and possibly adding a small addendum to that paragraph just as a personal favor. Thanks for your time. Now, he is speaking in regards to my Steam review posting, which I'll put up here for you to see, which is pretty much an excerpt of what I said in my video with the following preface. Now, while yes, the game is buggy and full of glitches, I was actually able to still enjoy the game and enjoy the time I've spent with it so far. Once they finish working out the bugs, this will be a fantastic little gem that I hope doesn't stay hidden. So his request was, in fact, a minor one, but as I said, it brings up a larger question about when it's appropriate and when it's not. So unfortunately, I have to say to Dano Kablamo at Prismic Studios that no, I can't change my review. Even though I feel your game is a good one, and I was being 100% honest there, as I always am, that even though it was buggy and glitchy, I still had fun with it. Which means, for people reading that, which means once a patch is released, which you did release, the game will be even better and even more enjoyable. So people citing that as a reason to not buy the game, sorry man, you should have waited those extra 10 days and then released your game. It probably would have had a little bit better reception with that. So yeah, even though I feel your game is a good one, and I hope it is successful, I really do. I'm not seeing too many reviews there for it yet on Steam, so I don't think it really broke out. I hope it does, though, because it was actually quite good. So even though it would be unethical for me to do so, and I do have to respectfully decline. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, I am SidAlpha. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and most importantly, share, as my growth on YouTube depends on you. And I'll see you next time. Hi there, boys and girls. Thanks for checking my video out. If you liked what you saw, don't forget to hit that like button and maybe even that subscribe button. Trust me, it works really good. Don't forget to share with your friends, and if you're interested in following me on Twitter and Facebook, the links for that are in the description down below. I also have a Patreon if you're interested in helping to support the growth of my channel, and the link for that is down below as well. And once again, thanks for watching and supporting my channel, guys. I really appreciate it.